In this shelter of ice and snow, the man was trying to use this meal to cure his uneasy fever. For this moment of warmth and peace, he has been fighting alone in the cold surrounding the tree. The story begins when he steps into this vast snow forest. The man's name is Alex, an experienced wilderness survivor, and the purpose of his trip. In this cold land, relying on hands and simple tools, we build a warm shelter that can withstand wind and snow. After some searching, his eyes were fixed on a unique natural foundation, a huge guide that led him to several routes, like a natural strong wall. It saved him a lot of effort in building it from the ground up. Putting on his old gloves, the preparations officially began. He first cleaned up the blood and dead branches under the tree roots with bare hands. Every shed of blood and every branch made the outline of the shelter clearer. This process seems simple, but it is physically demanding, especially in freezing temperatures. Relying on his hands was too inefficient, so Alex took out his right-hand man, a small engineering weapon, from his backpack. With the tools in his house, the excavation work speeds up instantly. He will break ground and hit the ground one by one to create space for his future home. However, the situation underground is more complicated than imagined. Countless small but firm roots intertwined into the excavation process of Wangzu's lever. Alex had to use his hands. They even used special operators to clear these obstacles one by one, and the movement of each root was accompanied by a crisp sound. It seems to be the horn of Project Progress. Han Shui lost his underwear and intertwined with the cold air, causing pain and shaking. After Shu Shosher's unremitting efforts, the space under the tree roots was finally cleared. It formed a coin shield that was large enough for him to lie down and hold. The next step is to build a framework for currency protection. Alex found a dead tree that had fallen down nearby. This is fine natural wood. He used cutting tools produced by engineers and soldiers to cut tree poles into suitable scenes for construction. The wood flew apart, and every push and pull was filled with a sense of power. He carried the cut wood on his shoulders and carried it back to the lead place one step at a time. These heavy timbers will serve as the shelter's shoulder-mounted shelves. Returning to the tree roots, he began to frame the entrance to the shelter. 1, 2, 3. The wood was cleverly stacked, and a half-cent channel was extended based on the roots of the tree. This not only blocks wind and snow, but also provides a pre-flow position for subsequent installation of door panels. After the frame is built, the next step is to fill in the strong body to increase the thermal insulation effect. The best natural insulation material is the pine branches that can be seen everywhere in the ground. Alex found a low-hanging pine tree and first knocked off the foundation of his career. Then used sentences to separate a large sum of money and drag it back to the introduction place. He carefully filled these branches with pine needles into the gaps of the material frame. The layers of pine needles form a thick grid layer, which can effectively block the cold air. The outer walls of the shelter are gradually covered with green pine branches, blending in with the surrounding snow scenery and full of original beauty. Having a strong coin also requires a comfortable ground. Alex set out again to find suitable wood to make floors and beds. This time he chose some wood that was more worthy and tidy. He used an axe to split the log in half to create a flat plank. Every move of Gray Axe was accurate and powerful, demonstrating his superb woodbreaking skills. The approved boards are generally transported to the shelter. He specialized in kinematics and began to lay the floor. The wooden boards are tightly spliced together to separate the wet ground from the body. He also cleverly used short wooden pieces as supports to build a bedboard off the ground. This is not only more comfortable but also prevents aerosol cleaning of the floor. Lying on the wooden bed made by himself, Alex revealed her fully clothed tiny body. A perfect shelter is just one step away from rising. Doors. The door-making process best reflects the ingenuity of a field craftsman. Alex started by building a rectangular door frame using short wooden sticks. Then he used a knife to remove any rough structure at the joints. Then used the tip of the knife to make a hole in the brick and insert a thin wooden stick to fix it. Not a single nail was used in the entire process. A solid wooden door frame takes shape. He installed the door tightly and cracked at the entrance. A safe and private home is thus completed. The shelter is complete, but the challenge of survival is far from over. Alex took the axe and walked towards the Bingfeng Bupo not far away. He wanted to create a hope of life on the hard ice. The ice falls and it officially begins. He picked up the axe and hit the ice hard. Ice leakage decreased 4 times. Later, a hole was finally opened in the ice layer due to repeated serious illnesses. He scooped the broken ice out of the cold lake with his bare hands and stung his skin, but he didn't care. Take out Jian Yu's fish Draman and hang the fish, place carefully into the ice cave. What follows is patient waiting. The god of luck seems to be particularly favoring the builder of the love prison. It didn't take long for the fishing line to have holes. Alex lifted quickly. A lively fish was pulled out of the water. Signs on ice. He fell on several in succession, enough for him to have a meal. Fish fruit with the sound of wind. Alex returns to the shelter with newfound satisfaction. Return to your warm home. He began to make the final preparations for the feast. He took out the intermediate equipment from his backpack. A loafer is a wood stove. Connect the pickled small amine in the hole. Marinate the prepared dry meat and ignite the flame. The blazing fire instantly dispersed the sea in the cave, brings light and warmth. Set up the pan and start cooking.